Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, best John Williams theme.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Okay, I need to start with a very important question for our guest, Jonathan Dinerstein.
Hi, guys.
You all know him, you love him, you love his
we're
music.
getting right into this.
Can we borrow $93,000? Would that be possible?
Well, not yet. I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, come on.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for listening to the show and welcome. And our guest today, you have heard his name on every episode of our show.
So kind of you.
So kind of you to provide us with music. It is our composer, our dear friend, and 4-time, very recent Jeopardy champion.
Yes.
Jonathan Dinerstein.
A pleasure, guys. Finally. I'm so happy to be on your show.
This is very exciting.
No, we're here. We were going to do best John Williams score, but of course, John has a podcast called Settling the Score where he discusses, you're going through the AFI's list of top scores.
That's right. So the AFI, puts out all these lists of different things, different, movie genres, actors, lines. So they have a list of scores that they actually put out in 2005. And there was a concert at the Hollywood Bowl that I went to.
I was there.
Were you there too?
I was there as well.
It was a great concert, right?
It was a wonderful concert.
So at the concert,
John Malcherry.
That's right. He conducts the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra, and he gave a little speech introducing each score. And then that was the reveal for what the numbers on the list were, of their list of the top scores. And I was, sitting there guessing along. And anyway, my buddy Andy and I now do this podcast where we're analyzing and talking about and saying what we think about all these scores, and we play all the music. I'm glad that this show is right out of the gate a plug for it, because
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Well, people need to know.
Yeah.
We brought you on because you are not only our friend and not only witty, but a musical genius. We'll say it. You don't have to. You can accept it.
You don't have to toot your horn. We're
By the way,
to toot your horn. You just play your piano. We'll toot your horn.
Over John's shoulder right now is his Emmy Award.
Yeah.
So, but also because you have a great podcast where you discuss film scores, which I know everybody is passionate. Everybody has a film score that they love, so it's a great chance to hear actual in-depth analysis from people who score things.
And that is why we are not going to talk about score.
I know you had somebody suggested that we talk about best John Williams score, which, that's a great topic. I would love to talk about it. And in fact,
your own show.
I do talk about it on my own show. So I don't want to when is this going to come out? Do you know?
This will be out in 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to put it out in 2 days.
So unless John Williams scores another movie that is released and is epically wonderful in the next 2 days.
So we have not yet gotten up to the number one score on the AFI's list, which is in fact
a John Williams score.
It is Star Wars.
Sure.
So I don't want to give away
a possible contender on this episode.
Absolutely, but
it would be mad if we chose something different here anyway. So let's
right. So we're just talking about his themes,
right?
So should we talk about what that means?
Yes. What is it? Yeah. What does musically inform us? We do not play music. We play a little music, but we are no masters as you are. What it makes first of all, what makes a theme, and what makes a theme a great theme?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think easily a theme is, I would say, a melody, a bit of musical material, including a recognizable melody which represents something.
Okay.
Often a character, but sometimes also an idea or a location or just something that is represented with a bit of musical material.
Okay, cool. So I'm excited then, additionally in this, to figure out what different themes represent.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, to your second question, what makes a great theme is music that instantly calls to mind and totally puts you in the spirit of whatever the thing is that it's supposed to represent.
Right. And you'd be hard pressed to find somebody better at that specific task. There are a lot of great composers out there. But John Williams has got to be top of the list.
Yeah, I was thinking, I wonder if you could do a similar thing for really anybody else. I mean, the list of iconic themes that he has written. I remember when I was a kid just marveling at, wait, the same guy wrote that and that and that?
Yeah.
And
what got you into scoring films? Because you also, in addition to having a podcast about it, you score.
That's right.
Television.
I do.
That's what the Emmy Behind Your Shoulder is for.
I do.
What got you into it?
I've studied music my whole life, and I always loved working with music, but I also loved movies, and I loved the idea of using music as part of storytelling and treating it as a craft where I like having an assignment.
Right.
You're not just staring at a blank page.
Right.
You're staring at a blank page with a time code and pictures and stories to tell. Sorry, I was not aimed correctly at the mic. This is an odd setup that we have right now because instead of the three of us being in an exact circle, it's like Hal and I on the other side of a table, and you are, of course, behind a piano.
Yes.
So I feel like we are getting, it feels like the end of the night in a bar where there's one table right by the piano. Like, hey Johnny. Hey, barkeep.
What can I get you, pal?
Give me another bourbon. Make it a double. Rocks.
We only got a single left. Can I mix in some water?
No, mix in some gin.
We're out of gin.
Johnny, play that song I love. That theme. Hey, Johnny, play the best movie theme of all time.
Oh, hey, wait a minute.
No, hey, what are you doing? Stop trying to short circuit this. I'm trying to think how we should break this up, and this is kind of what makes sense to me. Tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah. One is, I think we can do just the world of Star Wars because there are a ton of themes there.
Sure.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. I didn't expect
Star Wars would be one thing.
Whoa.
There are so many.
There are so many themes in Star Wars. That's one of the great things about the score of Star Wars. Actually, that really kind of launched my passion when I was a kid, realizing that all of the different things in Star Wars had recognizable music that goes with it and that meant those things. Kind of puzzling that out for myself. I mean, it's pretty common, I think, for people to get into that when they were kids, but that really did, that was formative for me in thinking about what to do with music.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're wearing a t-shirt with Figuring Dan and the Modal Nodes.
That's right.
It, so.
Figuring Dan and the Modal Nodes, the band in the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah.
In fact, I have Paul and Scott Ackerman here with me to sing the theme.
Oh, and take it away, Jen. Yeah. Let me make a distinction and see if I've got this right. Just so I'm sure I know what we're working with. Yep. Let's just start in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. First of all, to make sure I understand the difference between theme and score.
Great.
Is it safe to say that Peter and the Wolf is a score made up entirely of themes because each character has its own piece?
Yeah, that's a great example. Peter and the Wolf is one of the main progenitors of the idea of associating specific tunes, and in that case, specific instruments, playing those tunes with the characters in the story.
And that's Tchaikovsky?
It's
it's
Prokofiev.
Right, exactly. That's what I meant.
That's who you said. You were just coughing.
Yes. Now, my favorite piece of music in Star Wars is the music in the chase in the asteroid field.
Yeah.
But that is not a theme.
Well, yeah, it's got a little bits of themes in it.
Right.
But no, yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful piece of scoring. Yeah. And I'm so glad you said that because a score is all of the music that gets composed originally to match up with a movie.
Right.
And yeah, all throughout Star Wars, there's so much great action music, battle music that is specific to that moment in the film, but does not contain necessarily representational nuggets of things. At the end of the asteroid field, it goes ba-dum, ba-dum, and then it plays the love theme for Han and Leia.
Yes.
That shows up at the end of that cue.
Yes.
But that's when they escape and get away.
Right. That piece doesn't come back, but The Princess and the Scoundrel, which I think is the name of that, might be the name of that piece. Who knows?
On whatever soundtrack you bought?
Yeah, that's right. Sure. It's what I made up in my head.
It was you named the tracks yourself on a mixtape when you were 8.
Yeah. It's
The Princess and the Scoundrel. It's only ever been written down like that once and in pencil and on a Maxell.
And all of the vowels are backwards. But that is a theme. That is an iconic theme because it's brought back even in The Force Awakens when they see each other.
Yes, and exactly. So the themes in Star Wars go from movie to movie and they represent the things and they're used in lots of different situations in the movie. That's another great thing that you can do with themes and that Williams does with themes.
Let me ask you a question about, seamlessness of themes because as a kid, I never really connected. Like, I get super engrossed in a movie, and always have when I watch a movie, that it's all one piece to me. That I'm not eating separate things individually on my plate. So do you want to notice a theme, or do you want a theme to subconsciously, do you want a theme to, when a character enters or something is going to happen, like you just played that, I never would have connected consciously that's the Han and Leia theme. But I know that to a mind of a person who does this, you go, oh, I see what that's doing. That's saying that this is Han and Leia's theme. Like, do you want an audience to notice a theme?
Yeah, not necessarily. And definitely. I don't think even John Williams expects the audience to be following along with a chart and say, oh, that's him. And like, I've heard him tell stories where he's really surprised when little kids come up to him and, say things to him like, I heard you use this theme in this spot. And it's like, that's for me to think about. I just want you to enjoy it. And so really, the important thing is for you to enjoy it. And I think it does work subconsciously. But I think it's an enormous benefit to the task of composing to have this material to go back to tie into the emotions in the situations.
Interesting. So if you have a bunch of themes, it makes it easier to be like, okay, this character's coming in now. So
right. But then you also have to think about what to do with the themes. It's not just good enough to play the themes for exactly who's on the screen. Okay.
That's Peter and the Wolf.
Right. Sure. But then, I mean, look, he does all kinds of stuff with it. But let's talk about Star Wars themes. Like, for example, I think my favorite theme out of the whole Star Wars universe is the Force theme.
Okay.
And the Force theme.
Yeah. Well, you've heard it in many, many different guises. This is the melody.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, for example, that's the tune that you hear for the binary sunset when Luke is staring off into the binary sunset over Tatooine. And
I never heard that called the binary sunset, but I love it.
Well, that's the name of the cue if you bought the soundtrack like Hal did.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't have it.
I also took the BuzzFeed quiz, Are You Princess or a Scoundrel? The answer might surprise you.
It starts off with his gorgeous English horn. He's looking at it, and then the best orchestra entrance, or enormous string section. So that represents like the call to adventure,
right?
His yearning, his hero's quest, exactly. And it's the theme for, the Force, and it's what you hear when Obi-Wan's telling him all about, stuff.
Yeah.
But then that same piece, that same material comes back again, and it turns into the throne room at the end of the movie.
Is that a hallmark of a good theme? Is that in different styles it works really well?
You can use it in different styles.
So the theme really is just that just the melody.
Right. The theme is that melody and those chords going by. And you can do so many different things with it. And when you hear the same thing as when he was staring off into the sunset and dreaming of adventure, then you would hear it at the triumphant conclusion of his triumphant adventures. Even if you didn't recognize that it was the same, that you were hearing the same material, I think it absolutely has a subconscious, a psychological effect of, the stuff that we cared about the whole time is triumphant. And
well, let's talk about the Star Wars themes then.
Okay.
If we're starting, if we're covering just John Williams. And his themes, and there are so many in the Star Wars universe.
Sure.
I assume there's the fanfare would be a theme. Yeah.
That's the main title theme, and it's also Luke's theme.
Yes.
So
Now, Darth Vader had a sting in the first that da 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 da. That's how you knew Darth Vader was on screen. But then it became the Imperial March,
which was only written for Empire Strikes Back,
right?
And I
really the Imperial March isn't in the first movie.
No, it's not up here. Yeah,
man. So this is blowing my mind. You guys know way more about Star Wars than I do, first of all.
I know the second most.
I listened to your Star Wars episode. You guys know plenty. Don't play dumb.
He knows all about Spock. Just ask him.
I know everything about Spock. Miss Dr. Spock, the baby guy.
Yeah. He was a Jedi.
All right. So let's, if we could have, how many themes? I mean, I know there's a million themes in Star Wars, but of major themes.
Right.
And let's take a look at the,
let's use you as a test case, because I was going to suggest that, an important criterion for a great theme is that anybody can sing it if prompted.
Ooh, that's great. I like that.
So, I mean, I'm playing all this stuff in the piano, but let's take it easy on myself here.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, Darth Vader's theme, Imperial March.
Dun, 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 dun,
that's it.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that is just universal. You can sing that. Everybody knows what it means when you sing that. Everybody knows what to sing in order to mean that.
Right.
That's a great theme.
Sidebar. At your wedding.
Yeah.
What was the music in your wedding as you came down the aisle? Or
it was the throne room music.
It was the throne
room
music.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay, that was just a quick sidebar. All right, so there's one theme. There's the Imperial theme. There's the main title theme. There is the Force theme.
Yeah.
There is the Princess and the Scoundrel. I'm sorry, show some respect. The General and the Scoundrel.
Sorry.
So that's the Han and Leia love theme, which it's based off of Leia's theme, which is from the first movie.
Yeah. Which that also persists. She has her own theme.
Oh, absolutely. That persists.
I'm a big fan of Yoda's theme. So good. Yeah.
That's not one that
gives me goosebumps. The hair raises up.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's not one of the ones that you go, what's Darth Vader's theme? Dun, dun, dun,
right.
Dun, dun, dun.
So the best is recognizability, flexibility as well.
Sure.
Or versatility.
Yeah.
Probably a better way to say it.
And I think also, I want to throw into the criteria, representation ability. Like the degree to which it evokes what it is about immediately. It makes you think about what that thing is and calls it to mind.
The Emperor has a theme.
Yeah, he does. It's sung on a low male choir.
Yeah.
But that to me, I'm hearing da 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 da. Like it sounds a little bit like the Force theme.
It's almost a counterpoint to that music because it's the dark side of the Force.
Ooh. In fact, ooh.
Good. Yeah.
Oh man, that performance, like the Emperor, it's like they went to Britain and said, hey, Royal Shakespeare Company, who's the guy that even you guys look at and go, geez, that guy's a ham? Not from a Jedi.
Yeah, he had to audition even back in 82 with that Darth Plagueis monologue.
Oh, God.
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
So, can we think of any more that came out of the Star Wars world?
Anything super iconic. I mean, Cloud City's got a fun, that dun, 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 dun.
Sure.
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Would you consider the Cantina a song or a theme?
That's a song, yeah. Okay. Because you don't hear it outside of the Cantina.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
It's great,
yeah,
but it doesn't. It's it's playing. It's what's called source music,
which means it's actually in the movie,
right? The characters. Can hear
the characters can hear it.
Oh, right.
Are
you original Cy Snoodles and the Max Rebo Band, or the updated song with the singing hairball?
Shut up, nerd.
I definitely don't hate the updated one as much as it seems like everybody wants to hate it.
Sure.
The update, that's the in Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Yeah.
They add a guy who like clears his throat before he sings. He's like, I just want him to catch fire so badly. There's got to be some fire. I never see any fire down there.
I remember watching that and thinking that was the same band from Captain EO.
Exactly.
I'm like, isn't that Hooter from Captain EO?
And they didn't do another part of me, so they can get out.
Another part of me. So the winner is Captain EO.
Is there anything worth taking from the prequels in terms of score? Like Duel of the Fates?
Duel of the Fates, which is,
oh yeah.
And it's got the chorus, on top. And I think that, I always say that if Phantom Menace hadn't been this pariah of the Star Wars world that everybody wants to forget all about, then Duel of the Fates would have absolutely entered the lexicon of, you would hear it on commercials, you would hear it in movie trailers all the time. It would just be like one of those. It's really cool. It's neat, and I think that kind of got short shrift because its movie was so despised. But then again, it's hard to say what it means. Like I guess it's for Darth Maul.
Right.
It doesn't really have a representation that, it's not representing anything that is easy to talk about.
Right. And again, as we're looking for what is the absolute best.
Yeah.
And so right now we've got
I just wanted to name check that and say that it's better than its movie, but.
Yes. And I'm sure there are a lot of movie themes and scores that are better than their movies are.
Yes, absolutely.
But again, I keep coming back to dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Is pretty wonderful. I mean, let's pull one out of Star Wars and then we'll move on.
Yeah. You have to pull one?
I think we should pull one.
I think we have to because we're only going to be able to look. We've got a lot.
There's a lot to cover.
We have a lot of John Williams to cover.
I would actually argue in favor of the Force theme.
Okay.
I think I was going to say that too.
It has so many different uses. Also, the note upon which it ends will always is different based on where it's going next.
Yeah, like the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It can go down, it can loop back in.
Look, you're speaking my language. I love the Force theme.
Yeah. I think the Force theme is what has to come out of this.
Although I just want to give credit to that main fanfare, the opening orchestration, just because it taught me that, and the Superman, the main Superman theme taught me the difference between a fifth and a fourth.
It's true. Yeah, me too.
Okay. Explain.
When I was in, beginning music theory classes, that was my mnemonic. Absolutely. So a lot of John Williams themes begin with, at least from this era, would often begin with a big opening interval. So, the beginning of Star Wars goes bum, dum, dum, dum. But the first thing that you hear is dum, dum. That's a fifth. Da, da, da. So the distance in musical terms between this note and this note is a fifth. It's the same fifth that is the beginning of E.T. and the other E.T. theme. So those all begin with a fifth. The Force theme begins with a Force. Does anybody going to care about this? This is so nerdy, right?
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that first interval in the Force theme is bum, bum. That is a fourth. The Leia themes begin with a six.
Oh, man. This is blowing my mind.
See? Math and music.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Math and magic.
All right. So it's the Force theme?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think, so just to recap, it's because it shows up in some of the most memorable musical moments of the movie. It represents something great and memorable itself, and it's easy to hum. It's easy to associate with what it's about, and it's versatile.
Awesome. Well, so that's Star Wars. We have the Force theme.
The Force theme is what we're bringing out of Star Wars.
I mean, I hear everybody yelling that it should be the
main titles.
The Imperial
Yeah.
Death March. Yeah.
So too bad.
Okay.
Here's what I suggest we do.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
suggest we do TV,
Okay.
then take a break, then do Spielberg.
Oh boy.
Which,
my
and I
gosh,
think
this is
those
so
will
much.
be our three final. We can do TV and miscellaneous because he has done work outside of
Sure.
of it. But I think it's Spielberg, Star Wars.
Well,
those
but
are the big ones. Do you disagree?
No, except that
We don't want to not mention Harry Potter and Home Alone and
I'll tell you what. We'll have a miscellaneous, which is neither Spielberg nor Lucas.
we should have done this before we
TV.
started recording, by the way.
Let's do TV because I think that is a shorter list of top themes. Then
I can think of two.
Then we'll do miscellaneous, which to me I think will boil down ultimately to something like Home Alone versus something like Harry Potter.
yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be which Harry Potter theme is it going to be?
All right.
And
Great.
then we'll
So we're
take
done
a
with that
break,
one already,
and then
'cause
we'll do
I'll play it.
Spielberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
To all of our listeners out there, thanks for sitting with us while we did this thing that we probably should have written down and done beforehand.
You know what? They like the inside baseball stuff. Welcome to the lab, everybody.
Have you guys ever done this ahead of time?
I guess that's true. We usually just do every once in a while we do it ahead of time, and then when we get on the air we go, no, let's do it like this.
You've known us a very long time.
Yeah.
I think you can tell we don't plan particularly well. We were both late coming here.
Yeah.
And I was later than Mark.
15 years that we've known you? When have we ever been the guys that were planned like Boy Scouts?
Well, I was impressed that you were both late by pretty much exactly the same amount.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we've synced up.
Yeah.
That's happened over the last 4 years.
Been together long enough.
Yeah, it happens.
So sometimes we're both in a bad mood.
Yeah. So TV.
Okay.
I can think of two.
Yeah.
That immediately pop into mind, and that is the Olympic theme and NBC Nightly News.
Yep. Those are, I agree. Those are the two ones.
Those are the big
Want to
ones.
give us a
Can
taste?
you play them for us?
Okay. Well, John Williams has written a lot of music for the Olympics. But I think it's important to say he did not write.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the main Olympic fanfare. Now, he's arranged that.
Right.
And the version that you hear playing at the top of every Olympics broadcast on NBC is his arrangement of that. And then it goes into what he did write. He was commissioned to write it for the 84 Los Angeles Olympics. Right. And that's the thing that goes.
Boom.
Yeah.
And then it goes. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. And then you have like Bob Costas going like, losers from all over the world have arrived in Tahiti. Yeah. They took the wrong plane. And so we're going to cut to ice skating here in Nagano.
Next, an interview with the shirtless Tongan.
He's got a name, we know.
Yes.
I played in my college marching band, and the brass would go off and play that fanfare, and they would separate themselves so that the trumpets would stand like way back in the stands on one side, and then the low brass, trombones, tubas on the other side. So the trumpets would go, and then we would all wait for the.
Then you played piano in the marching band.
That's right,
what
piano
was
marching
that
band.
Was it heavy?
Yeah, the wheels were much smaller than I thought they should be.
They should have just given you a guitar.
Well, I refused.
The other probably major theme.
And this one I think is now knowing that, because I did not know that John Williams did not write that main Olympic theme, which I thought was his.
And look, he has other Olympic themes that he wrote for other Olympic ceremonies that you also hear in the broadcast.
That one I hear constantly. And is great.
Yeah. They're all over the place.
Sure.
And there's many more actually that I don't remember. So they don't win.
Yeah, of course.
Let's say it's 6 p.m. on any given day of the week. I just want to know what's happening in the world. I'm going to turn on NBC Nightly News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be it.
Right? It's hard to beat that because it just sounds like the news.
Yeah. It sounds like it's got gravity.
Yeah.
It's got the little, the high notes at the beginning, like, hey, we're going to give you some dog stories.
It's urgency.
We're going to give you some dog stories.
Urgency, but also like cheer and optimism.
Cheer. The things are bad. So it's got to be the NBC Nightly News.
That comes out of TV over the Olympics, even though, the count against the Olympics is that the most iconically associated music with the Olympics isn't.
Who wrote that? Do you know?
A guy named Leo Arnaud.
Is it 20th century or
it's
this
20th century?
Okay.
I thought it was Tchaikovsky. I was wrong about that one.
No, it was Prokofiev.
Prokofiev.
I'm not allowed to say that on the
He was the one who's like, come on, do something. Come on. Come on. What, you like music? Come on, nerd.
Is it Prokofiev?
No, it's Prokofiev now.
Prokofiev. Yeah. Hey, make a song. I don't
think it was either of the names you said.
Wait, what is it?
It was Nabokov.
Nabokov.
I know who it is. Oh, I know a lot about music.
So it was played on a toy piano?
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Gross.
Let's
so gross.
take a break. And when we come back, we will discuss the work that John Williams did for and with Steven Spielberg and the work that he did outside of that. We'll be right back. Here's some commercials.
Dead Pilot Society brings you exclusive readings of comedy pilots that were never made, featuring actors like Patton Oswalt.
So the vampire from the future sleeps in the dude's studio during the day, and they hunt monsters at night. It's Blade meets the Odd Couple.
Adam Scott and Jane Levy.
Come on, Corey. She's too serious, too business-y. She doesn't know the hokey pokey.
Well, she'll learn what it's all about.
Busy Phillips and Dave Koechner.
Baby, this is family.
My Uncle Tell, who showed his wiener to Cinderella at Disneyland, is family. Do you want him staying with us?
He did stay with us for 3 months.
And he was a delight.
A new pilot every month, only on Dead Pilot Society for maximum fun.
Hey, it's Jesse, the host of Bullseye with Jesse Thorne. I'm coming to Portland, Oregon. We're going to be doing a very special live episode of Bullseye, my NPR interview show. It's taking place Friday, February 15th at Revolution Hall. What are you going to see? If you go to Portland, Oregon to see this show, you will see me live on stage talking with folks like Corin Tucker from Slater-Kinney, director Lance Bangs, writer Bill Oakley, Simpsons legend. We will also have live music from Roseblood and live comedy from Katie Wen. It's going to be a blast and a half. It's also part of a big podcast festival called Listen Up Portland. Tons of other great podcasts are playing at it too. Our pals the Doughboys, among others. So, again, that's Friday, February 15th at Revolution Hall in Portland, Oregon, 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Get them at listenupportland.com. And thanks.
Okay, we're back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's almost as if no time has passed at all.
Almost.
Yet here we are. You know, when you think of John Williams, you think of Star Wars, you think of Steven Spielberg, his running buddy. But he has done other work. Probably the two
We're starting
most
with
notable.
We're starting with the non-Spielbergs?
Yes. I think we should start non-Spielberg
Sure.
and then go into. So we're
That's
bookending.
fine. I remembered another non-Spielberg one that I think is going to win now, actually.
Oh, well, the two
that's going to win the whole thing?
No, that's going to win the non-Spielberg.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very excited.
Well, we have the work in the Harry Potter films, which is loaded with themes.
Because that main Harry Potter theme, the dun 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 dun. Can you play that? Because I don't know. People won't even. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Ooh, Harry! I had to get one in there. I had to stick one in. By the way, somebody on Twitter played a clip of his audiobook, and it's accurate. I'm not embellishing at all. That's what it sounded like. And then Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, that just makes it feel like Christmas.
But isn't there also that?
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know.
It's a lot of vocal. It's a lot of choral.
Sure, it's Christmas time.
Themes. That's from Mark Evan Jackson, who will never listen to this.
Yeah.
But you say you have something.
Yeah, I think I have
we
something.
can delve into Harry Potter. I'm not throwing it away, but
Look,
I want to hear.
if we were taking one theme out of Harry Potter, it's definitely that.
But what are some of the other ones that I'm going to immediately go, oh yeah, that. Yep. 100%.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm sure there's many more. This is definitely the Harry Potter takeaway.
Yeah.
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 Which oddly sounds, if Harry Potter is his, one hero's journey, it does have a little bit of that Force theme kind of.
Well, it begins with a fourth.
Yeah, there you go.
See?
Look at my ear.
Yeah.
See? You know.
Yeah.
There's the Force, and here's Harry Potter. Look, there's only so many notes. You know?
Is it safe to say he's used all of the notes?
He's used every single note, man.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Is he in the Note Hall of Fame for that? Thank goodness. All right, you have something. Do you want to just play it and see if we
And then we're going to go.
spark to it immediately?
Yeah.
I hope it's Eastbound and Down. Go ahead.
Nope, it is.
Don't tell us.
The other movie that he wrote in 1982, Heart Beeps.
Oh,
What?
No, it's
great. Yeah, Bernadette Peters, Andy Kaufman, classic. They're robots, people. They fall in love. How does it happen?
Oh my God.
You actually know who's in that movie?
That's the movie that Andy Kaufman is remembered for.
Andy Kaufman fans go, yeah, he made a movie once.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Look, I love Andy Kaufman and I love Bernadette Peters.
That movie's
and
not
yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is the, I think, clear winner in the non-Spielberg theme.
Okay.
Movie theme category.
Oh
my God.
I didn't even think that. Yeah, of
Why
course.
did I think of it as Spielberg? And he says nothing
Richard
to do with
Donner.
it.
That is, of course, the Superman theme.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Man, that is tough to beat. This is one of these things where I just marvel at how did he think of that?
Mm-hmm.
How did that not already exist? How did he get to that first?
Yeah.
Because it's the most strong sounding notes you can think of is, again, the fifth, which is a very, powerful interval. There's just a fifth. And then there's only 2 notes there. He's only using the 1 and the 5 there. And then he puts some other ones.
Oh.
And then it goes on.
Is that all part of one theme? This is one theme, or is that a separate?
I don't know how to.
Because that opening suite is like a medley of all the original motion picture is a medley of all the music. It has Can You Read My Mind?
And
right.
It is
Lois's.
It is
Lois's
beautiful. Can You Read My Mind is the.
Can you read my mind?
I like the. There is a version. I think it's might be the Donner cut where Margot Kidder is like in her mind. She's saying the lyrics to the song.
Oh, really?
Which are, she's like, can you read my mind? Do you know what it is you do to me? Those are the lyrics to that song. I'm not kidding. But the great thing about the Superman theme is it says Superman in it. It goes, Superman.
If you haven't listened to it, go on or watched it, go online and watch Andy Goldenberg, Golden Tusks.
Oh yeah, I watched that a lot.
He adds lyrics to
No longer am I just a man, I'll only go by Superman.
Yeah.
So great.
I just remember, in my fortress of solitude. Yeah, he's added lyrics to all of the great scores. It's very, very fun. Golden Tusk on YouTube.
But this is a classic, iconic score. Sorry, Harry Potter.
How could anything be more iconic than... How did he get there first?
I don't know. What is the process? Generally... They've already started shooting footage. Mm-hmm. You're aware of what you're doing, but you're not really you're coming up with ideas, but you're not really scoring until you have footage. Is that
That's
correct?
Right. Yeah, because what you're doing depends crucially on the timing of the picture. So the picture is almost always edited before the composer starts writing to it.
Yeah.
I love it comes at the very end of the process, of the filmmaking process.
The low string build to it. Man, I like... And then would dream of the day that I would run through a dirty city alley and open my shirt to reveal the Superman and then take off. Cause it's like like he's becoming Superman. He's changing. And like these little call outs that are happening to it. It's such a brilliant piece of music.
Yeah.
There's something at the end too. And I don't know.
It has this perfection to it, which is what Superman is about, the ideal. It's just so ideal-ish.
Yeah. And there's something beautiful, the tension of this is specifically at the end of that main theme piece. Like, I don't know if that main theme piece that has been out in the world, if that is in its entirety in the movie at all.
It's the opening credits.
It's the opening credits.
That one thing, when it gets really busy at the end.
But he builds tension in the end of that better than in any other piece I think I've ever heard. It's like the whole thing is one long seventh chord. It's just or a great big drum roll.
It makes you want to run up a mountain and punch it into dust.
Yeah.
It gives you so much energy.
All right. I feel that's
gone. That's the finals, right?
I just pictured Superman punching Harry Potter into the sun so hard. And oddly, one of the things Superman's susceptible to is magic. Yeah, Kryptonite and magic. Magic affects Superman.
Yeah, I'm sure Superman has thought about punching Harry Potter into the sun a lot.
I bet he has.
Yeah.
That's how he sleeps at night.
Yeah.
That's his ASMR is hearing like, ooh.
He doesn't want to punch the Daniel Radcliffe Harry Potter into the sun. He wants to punch the Jim Dale Harry Potter into the sun, and the Jim Dale Hermione, and the Jim Dale Ron. Yeah. I almost called it the Jim Dale Rupert Grint.
Might as well punch Potter to the sun. All right.
Now,
are you comfortable with Superman?
I'm absolutely comfortable.
And not taking Harry Potter and making it separate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely think that
that Harry Potter melody, I think I'm not encyclopedic with my knowledge of the Harry Potter movies, but I think of that as the main theme.
Right.
But it's if you look at the soundtrack, it's called Hedwig's theme, which is the name of his owl.
Yes.
Right. So I think it's, supposed to be like an owl flying around. That's why it's so high and dainty a little bit. But it doesn't, it's not as clear to me what it represents as Superman.
Yeah. Superman.
Yeah.
Now we talked before, as we move into the Steven Spielberg, I want to start at the beginning of their collaboration.
Great.
Sugarland Express.
Well,
That's right.
Well, the beginning of their iconic collaboration, because you mentioned intervals before.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never heard two notes more intimately associated, not only with an animal, a movie, or fear itself.
Fear itself, right?
Impending danger.
Danger.
Yeah.
Can you play those two notes? That's it.
That gets closer.
And that, to me, when we first said this is what we were going to do, listeners, my first thought was, oh, it's Jaws.
Yeah.
Because John Williams did in two notes what it is mind blowing. You hear those two notes and you go, ooh, shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Those two are the function notes, but I do want to say there's a lot of other notes involved too.
Right. Yes.
I mean, then it goes down to that's like a key thing, and then there's this thing on top.
Yeah. It gets more and more complex. Mm-hmm. It's like,
but as the shark gets closer,
in the distance, it's closer, it's
right.
closer.
But it is definitely true that when the shark is swimming at people, you definitely hear back and forth between just those two notes.
I think it's when I was a kid, and when my family would go swimming, either in a pool or in the ocean or whatever, my big brother would torture me into thinking that he was going to attack me in the water by simply going, Gabe, quit it. Gabe, I'm serious. Gabe. Mom!
Isn't he your younger brother?
No, he's my older brother. It's my younger sister.
I know. You're the middle child.
She'd scare me too. I was a very afraid child.
Is there any music that represents a thing more immediately than that?
I can't think of one.
I don't know, man.
And yet, I think I just want to, I don't know that it's the winner, but it is a very pure.
I just wanted to give it its due as an absolutely pure, here is what fear sounds like.
And another great thing about it is it's become, even if you haven't seen Jaws, you know that piece of music. It has ascended above what is a practically perfect movie. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's a bad movie and the theme came out as good. No. It's an all-time film.
And also, I also want to say that the rest of the score to Jaws also phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more musical material in the score that isn't that people don't remember as readily, but it's all great.
Yeah. Can we go from the music that means shark to a music that means aliens are trying to contact us?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, is this Close Encounters?
Which is the next movie that they made together after Jaws, right?
Yeah. It was Close Encounters. See, I hear that and I think, oh, it's the beginning of The Entertainer. Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's the alien was Scott Joplin.
The alien came out with the little straw hat and cane.
Marvin Hamlish wrote The Entertainer, right?
No, Scott Joplin.
It was Joplin.
Scott Joplin. Marvin Hamlish.
Are you sure it wasn't Tchaikovsky?
It was Provokia.
Oh yeah.
Marvin Hamlish
Provokia. Sure.
Arranged all the Scott Joplin music for The Sting.
That is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Right.
There's something really. I think it might be the instrumentation. Because he used a synthesizer, like a Moog?
Yeah, something like that. They're playing it on
so
the
it has that like,
at the end.
Yeah. And then when they communicate with the ship and the ship blows out their equipment and they use, I forget the name of the hand symbols that they use for the different notes.
Is it like Guido d'Arezzo?
Odd.
I'm doing it now with my hand, as everybody can see.
But the aliens know it for some reason.
Yeah, that was never exactly explained, I think, adequately. In the
and then a bunch of people come out of the ship.
Right.
And that is a movie.
So I read that Spielberg specifically asked Williams for a musical signature. He described it as a doorbell. He wanted the aliens to have a doorbell chime.
Oh, cool.
That they used to communicate with the Earthlings. And it was I take a little bit of comfort in the fact that Williams like tried hundreds of permutations of notes before settling on that. He just kept throwing stuff at the wall, and that's what they decided on. But it wasn't like some flash inspiration. This is what it must be. And I feel like, okay, if I had 300 chances, maybe I could come up with that.
Right, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Though I don't know if I want Steven Spielberg saying no to me 299 times.
It's a no for me, dog. It is I think, similar to Jaws, it has ascended the film in which it appeared.
Yeah.
And for a while, I don't think it means the same thing now. The Jaws theme persists, but I do think it's a really interesting piece of music that is.
And it's a plot point. Like,
it's almost
overlooked. It's musical
overlooked.
theme as plot point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'll give it extra points for that. And then I did want to say that, whereas Jaws is like the most representational thing you can think of, I think it does fall short of his other themes in terms of singability and its melodiousness.
Sure.
I mean, it's intentionally not meant to be melodious, but, like these notes are hard to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to prize a little bit of singability as well. That said, I definitely take Jaws over
Close
Encounters.
Well, let's move a little further into the 80s.
I'd say let's move into the 90s and then go back.
Hang on a second. Why is that?
Because I want
to save the one that you think is going to win.
He didn't write that movie.
The big one for last. No?
He didn't write the movie about going back to the 80s.
Darn it.
But he did write another Alien movie in the early 80s.
That movie, the theme to that movie does sound a lot like Yoda's theme, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yoda's theme. Right? And then
the Back to the Future theme.
All right.
Alan Silvestri, we are on to you. You're a cheater.
Yeah.
Well, he can claim that he wrote it in 1955, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Alan Silvestri, you're a pioneer. We appreciate your work.
All right. Where did you want to go into the 90s? Because I can think of two more great epic 80s themes that he wrote.
I kind of wanted to move forward. I want to go back
to those.
I want to start. I think I want to start, and tell me if we need to go.
If you say Crystal Skull, our show is over.
Tell me if we need to go further
Memoirs
forward.
of a Geisha.
Yeah, I want to do that. I wanted to start with Schindler's List in 93 and then work our way backwards from there.
Okay.
I don't think, and not that he isn't also still doing great work, but I feel like that's the last iconic theme that wasn't a continuation of something he already did. We've already covered Star Wars.
Right.
Well, Harry
Am
Potter
I
was
correct
after.
there?
Harry Potter's after.
But we're already at it. I mean, with
Right,
Spielberg.
yeah,
With
of
Spielberg
Spielberg
as a
stuff.
collaborator. Unless there's anything from like Tintin
Jurassic
that really
Park?
stands out. Well, they're
Was that
same
before
year.
Schindler's List?
Schindler's List and Jurassic Park. I think Schindler's List came out first. And then Jurassic Park came out after. Or Schindler's List was 94.
I don't remember.
I thought Jurassic Park was 94, but I could be wrong about all of this.
Well, let's start with Jurassic Park then.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some great things. And again, these like big.
You have the score. I'm like forcing you to flip through this digital songbook.
Oh,
What? No, it's all in my head.
Oh,
what are you
that's right.
talking about?
I cannot, Hal can
never.
see your hands in the keys. I'm looking over the back of the piano, so I assume that all of this is just in your brain.
He's playing everything with one hand and giving you the finger this entire time.
That's
I don't know. I'm sorry to call you out, John.
It sounds like this.
I didn't see what just happened.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to because it sounds like that.
Yeah. Use your imagination, dude.
Oh my God. All right. So let's talk. Jurassic Park is another one of those that has it's big and grand and sweeping and epic, but there are a few themes.
I think there are a few different themes.
There's a few great themes in Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you just want to make noises over it? Be like,
and then, of course, it culminates in, we are dinosaurs, we are dinosaurs.
I mean, this is what, for me personally, this is one of my all-time favorites. That to me doesn't sound like Jurassic Park to me. That to me sounds like the movies.
right.
You know what I mean?
Welcome to a retrospective of 20th century cinema.
It is movie time. Get your popcorn now. Like, it's such a grand love letter to movies.
I'm your host, El DeBarge. The L stands for Larry. And we're here to talk about some of your favorite movies and the music that's part of them. Starting with this piece from Jurassic Park.
What are some of the other big themes that would...
That to me is Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's like, Here comes, I'm a T-Rex, I'm going to eat your head off.
Though, you mentioned before, and I love what you just did playing it so fast, because you mentioned before with the Force theme that it can be played many different ways. So playing that one so quickly,
you say go slow too?
Now play it in here's a challenge for you. Play it in the least Jurassic Park style that you can.
What do you want, a sarsaparilla?
Oh God, that killed me. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. So there's Jurassic Park. There's iconic. I don't know if I don't know if it's going to beat some of the other greats from Spielberg.
Sure.
But well worth mentioning and absolutely worth the ragtime version.
Yep. Yeah, just let me know when you want ragtime versions of all this stuff.
Great. I would buy that album in a heartbeat, by the way.
I mean, maybe onto something there.
Right? Let's talk about Schindler's List.
Yeah. This is, I think what this piece of music does really well is convey gravity and sadness. It perfectly underscores what it's in. It doesn't, I think sometimes a theme, even a great theme, can overpower what's in front of it. But this just, when you hear it, if you've seen the movie, it flashes the images and the story. It feels like, the music of like my heritage as a descendant of European Jews. That this is the kind of music that represents that culture extremely well and conveys sadness and weight. It's just a great piece of music.
Yeah, and it's Yitzhak Perlman played the solo.
Yeah.
So you also have in the recording in the movie, you have the benefit of one of the world's greatest musicians, evoking, every emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That it doesn't go too far. It's relative to what it's about, it's really pretty understated.
I assume something like this, if you're a composer, is a more difficult assignment to draw versus this is going to be a big action film.
This was an example where, Spielberg didn't really know what exactly to ask Williams for here. Because the idea of encapsulating those feelings in music was kind of beyond him. He's had this great relationship with Williams already by this point, a couple decades long, but he didn't really give him instructions for this, and he was kind of blown away by how the pathos with which he encapsulated the movie.
And it uses a color palette that feels like sort of like a klezmer.
Yeah, that's right. It definitely feels Eastern European for sure.
Yeah, and it's epic and beautiful. I will say it lacks if the singability of a tune is one of the things that we're looking for in the great themes.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking around humming Schindler's List.
I mean, I admit I only saw this movie once.
It's hard to say
it's a very hard movie to watch.
Yeah. So I definitely don't have as much experience with it. But man, what can you say against it?
Yeah, the craft is extraordinary in putting it together. I do like the idea.
If we don't pick this, are we monsters?
I do like the idea of four guys around a barrel fire in Jersey going like, do 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 do.
I'm gonna not play a ragtime.
Please don't.
Yeah, what would that sound like as a Gilbert and Sullivan number? All right, let's move back to probably his most iconic score, which is Hook.
I loved Hook. As a movie, I loved Hook.
I don't hate Hook. I enjoy it a lot. And the music
I can't remember what the theme is, but the second I hear it, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, it's that.
I don't remember what the theme is. I got it.
So we can skip Hook, right?
We can skip Hook.
They did have that one song
Run Home, Jack.
For an Oscar.
I once got to meet, I was with a group of students and we got to meet, Sandy DeCrescent, who is John Williams' orchestra contractor for a long, long time, which means she
built his orchestra.
She hires the orchestra.
You want to build these strings? It's going to take me another 3 weeks unless you got 10 grand.
She keeps, she's in charge of, booking the orchestra for the recordings. And she said that Hook was the most difficult score to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Just really, really demanding of
well, sure. All he did for his other scores was 1s and 5s.
There were 4s and 6s in there.
That's right.
And that was it.
Yeah, 1s, 5s, 4s, and 6s.
Yeah.
Those are all the numbers, right? I never watched Sesame Street.
This one had 11s in it. That made it very hard.
So Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't sing a theme from Hook, so.
Great.
Yeah.
So let's go further backwards.
So let's give that movie the means of taking it off the stage. What do you call that?
The crooked cane.
The crooked cane.
Yes, the crooked cane is coming for you, Hook.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The spotlight broom.
There you are.
Gotta find Jack. You gotta find Maggie. You gotta find Jack. Hook is back.
The
and it's pulling
stage
me off
croup?
stage.
I think it's
stage
crook.
Stage croup.
Croup. The stage croup.
Named it for Gene Krupa, who had a hooked stick that he would use to drag other musicians off the stage if they were getting in his way. The Color Purple is another song is another film he scored.
It's true.
I do not remember any significant themes from it.
I'm sorry,
I remember moments of that film vividly well.
We should again take a moment to point out that not being able to remember a theme does not mean that you don't like the score.
Right. We talk about the seamlessness too of it. Like you may not even notice it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all meant to work subconsciously, and you don't have to be clocking this stuff for it to have its intended effect.
Right.
But we're talking about a specific thing.
And the specific thing we're talking about
is,
very easily could go bum ba dum bum bum ba dum.
Ooh, well, are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
We're there.
Is there anything we need to cover before that?
We need to cover E.T.
Yeah.
And the only two giant iconic ones left, I think, are E.T. and Indiana
and then
Jones.
we can include in Indiana Jones the other themes in those films. I know we skipped backwards past Last Crusade and Temple of Doom.
Right.
So,
which has great stuff in them.
But I don't think anything is nothing's going to come out of Indiana Jones.
No, of course not.
That isn't bum ba dun 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 dun, because that to me is also in the same way that those two notes in Jaws equal fear. Those notes to me equal adventure.
Sure.
Ragtime version.
Now that should have been playing when he had to run behind the gong at Club Obi-Wan.
Oh man, I love this album.
All right, sorry. I'll practice it later.
So yeah, Indiana Jones what are some of the other big themes to come out of Indiana Jones that?
I really like the Scherzo for Motorcycle and Orchestra from Last Crusade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that keeps coming back repeatedly. Marion has a theme.
Yep. Another sixth theme, by the way.
Oh,
really?
How's it go?
Da-na-na-na-na-na. It's similar to Leia. It starts the same as Leia, but then...
See, that's funny. I totally thought that was Leia's theme.
Well, it's close.
I get them confused.
It's really close.
When you started playing Leia's theme, I was like, oh, this must be a different part of Leia's theme.
That's Leia, and this is Marion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are very similar themes.
Oh, man, that's a beautiful theme. But again, come on.
Look, I'm going to come out and say, I think that Indy was my favorite coming in here. This is it's got everything. Anybody can sing it. Mm-hmm. Anybody knows how it goes.
What are the lyrics to it? Because for me, it was always dun 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 dun.
Oh, there are lyrics.
Wait, what?
What? There are lyrics because when I was growing up in New York, WPIX 11 would play this movie once or twice a year, and they always ran the same promos for it, and they sang lyrics to the tune. And it went, chased by Nazis, chased by rocks, jumps the bad guys in a runaway truck. He wins a sword fight without a sword, 'cause he's Indy, it's Raiders Monday at 8. Yeah.
Oh, who knew?
Yeah.
It's odd that they made those the lyrics before even knowing it was going to be on WPIX.
On Monday at 8.
Yeah.
I mean, that is... Yeah, come on, guys. Indiana Jones, you can't beat that score. Nothing gets me more pumped.
Yeah, it has an emotion that it conveys immediately. Mm-hmm. It gets you there. Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
great key change.
That's what you're talking about? So another story about the writing of this. This was, Williams had two ideas for the theme to Raiders. That was one.
Please tell me the other one was the Schindler's List.
The other one was...
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't use that one.
No.
I'm glad he saved that for later.
And then the other one, he said, well, Steve, I also got this. and Spielberg said, I want both. So this became the B section.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's like the bridge, basically.
Yeah, the bridge,
of the theme.
But I think it is correct that this is the main one.
Yeah.
Now, before we outright say that it's Indiana Jones,
I don't think it's. I mean, it's the clear.
It's the clear front
Spielberg's
runner,
work.
but we're missing one of the greats.
What's that?
Which is the flying theme from E.T.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One of my all-time favorite movie themes.
Yes.
Maybe just because I love the movie E.T. so much.
E.T. is so good.
We
watched E.T. together. Was it last summer?
Oh, that's right. Outside.
Yeah, we watched an outdoor screening at a friend's house.
Thanks, Karen.
Of E.T. last summer. And it's one of those movies that like, it was just great because, we're sitting out. Maybe this one to me is one of those ones that is personally, I love it so much because I have so many great memories of like sitting and watching that movie as a kid and oh my gosh, he's flying on his bike. And then to watch that movie underneath the stars in Hollywood with a bunch of friends. You know what I mean? Like it's maybe it's just a personal thing that I love about it.
No,
but
I think so many people love it's not it is personal to you, but I think that feeling is something that all of us share because that movie has been seen by millions and millions and millions of people. This is the theme I associate with E.T. more than any other.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful, and it is so evocative of flying and wonder
and childhood.
And,
By the way, that little piece of musical phrasing made me think of the theme from Temple of Doom. That
oh, you're right. That's a good call.
That's a really great piece of music.
Oops. That's the Temple of Doom, the March of the Slave Children.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question, guys. Of the Spielberg collaborations, Indiana Jones' main theme is coming out of there.
I think so. As much as I love E.T., which I love with all my heart and soul, the whole score, as of this recording, the score to E.T. is at the top of both my list and my podcasting partners Andy's list of the scores that we've covered so far.
Really?
Yeah.
But the full score.
The full score. Because we're rating the whole experience, watching the movie, having the music tell the story. And the thing that we said about it was that that movie was designed from the ground up to be carried by a great score.
Right.
Yeah. Consciously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Spielberg absolutely made it having learned the lessons that he learned from Jaws and Close Encounters about what Williams was doing for his movies, he left room for Williams to do what he did in E.T. and it's magical. It's nothing short of pure magical. Yeah. But in terms of the individual melody,
dun, 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 dun.
I think I gotta. Yeah. How can you beat Indy, man?
Yeah.
It's iconic. It's just iconic on top of iconic.
It sounds like we're there.
It's iconic. We have four.
What are the four?
We have
the Force theme.
The Force theme.
So just to be clear, we're taking Indy over Jaws as well.
We're taking Indy over Jaws as well.
Tell me why you think so.
I think because what you said before, the hummability, the melody of it all, and it serves the same function for a different emotion that Jaws serves.
Right. Okay. It's true. I don't think it's any less, or it's at least comparably representational of a feeling and a, character and idea as Jaws is of impending fear. Indy is, adventure fun times.
I also think the theme for Jaws evokes moments as well. I mean, it's certainly, what film you're talking about. You're talking about a shark and you're talking about danger, but you're thinking about specific scenes. Whereas when I hear the Indiana Jones theme, I can run through the entire movie. In my head.
It stands for the character.
Yes.
Even independent of the specific stuff you see the character doing. It tells you that there is a whole character behind this guy. That's what, that's one of the things that's so great about that movie is it feels like, even after just seeing one movie, after seeing Raiders, it feels like it is one in a long line of movies that you love.
Right.
Yes.
And
which is what they were going for, because
exactly
they were basing it on the old 30s serials.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, having that theme is what, gives you that feeling that this is something that's always been, this is a guy who's always been doing this, and it's always been this much fun to watch him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Indy coming out of that. So we have Indiana Jones. We have, we can eliminate the NBC Nightly News, maybe.
Well, I just want to take it out right away.
Well, I mean,
among the iconic John Williams themes.
Nothing, yeah. I mean, it sounds like its thing beautifully.
It does.
It does.
I know. Maybe I shouldn't take it out immediately. So we've got NBC Nightly News. We've got,
the Force theme. Indiana Jones. And Superman.
Well,
I don't know why I needed to say those immediately after you every time you said them. So the audience just heard all of them twice.
It's a musical.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Hey, but comedy is what we also are. So rule of threes. Can you say them now?
I don't know. Can I? It's, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The Force theme
from Star Wars. Yeah, it's not that easy.
No, the Force theme from Star Wars, NBC Nightly News, and Superman.
Yeah. So.
Okay. I mean, those are some real good themes.
I mean, they are hard to beat.
I think I have a gut feeling that if we did a 1, 2, 3 and all said our choice at the same time, we would get down to 2. What we think the winner is.
Oh, what we think the winner is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think for each of these themes, we've definitely talked about them. We've given their merits. I think.
Before we do that, let's just go back to 11-year-old John.
Yes.
And, think about these things. The same guy wrote all those?
I know. It's amazing.
That guy. And then all the ones that we also eliminated already.
Yeah. I hope Steven Spielberg sends John Williams the world's biggest thank you card every year.
It is not at all lost on Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Williams has done for
It's
him.
a collaboration similar to me that Hitchcock had with Bernard Herrmann.
Great call. Yep.
Which is another, he's another guy I think of for themes, but I think of Psycho. I like the music of, I like his music, but
yeah. He's absolutely one of my favorite composers too, Bernard Herrmann, but yeah, he doesn't deal in, really iconic melodic ideas as much as Williams did.
100%.
But I also love his scores, to be clear.
All right. Are we going to do the count?
We're going to do it?
Yeah. I'm just curious what we'll come up with. So I'll say 1, 2, 3 and we'll each say it. Okay. And then we'll see where we are.
Again, the choices are NBC Nightly News, Superman,
Indiana Jones,
and Force theme.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Indiana Jones.
Wait, what did you say?
I said Indy.
2 Indiana Jones,
Indies and a Superman.
1 for Superman. So those are our 2 finalists. Can I sell you either of you guys on Superman?
Wait, who said what?
I said Superman. You both said Indiana Jones.
Okay.
First of all, any of these 4 I would be happy with.
Yeah.
Maybe NBC Nightly News would be kind of an odd choice.
So I thought that we were going to eliminate that one first. I guess we
it's
kind
eliminated.
of did.
Yeah. We eliminated
gone.
that, and we eliminated the Force
theme.
Interestingly enough. Because I think we eliminated it because we didn't call it Star Wars. We called it specifically
That's
the Force
true.
theme.
Well, it's not the main Star Wars theme.
Right. And Star Wars, on AFI's list is
number 1.
It's the number 1 score.
I think Empire Strikes.
That's what I mean. Star Wars, the entire scores.
For my money, Empire Strikes Back is the greatest score because he has to write music for 90% of the movie or more. There are very few times where there's no music.
Yeah, that is a popular opinion among John Williams nerds that that Empire's the best score. But
and among Star Wars nerds, that Empire's the best movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably not a coincidence.
No, it's officially the best movie because that was in one of our early episodes determined to be
that's
asked and answered.
Of course.
Yeah. Why do you think it's Superman over Indiana Jones?
Superman came into that motion picture. He had already existed, I think, for 40 years at that point.
Yeah.
40 years plus. And John Williams was able to create a theme for him that if you read a Superman from 1950s or you watch the old Fleischer cartoons, that dun 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 dun, you go, oh, that's cool. Where's the Superman theme? If you see Superman now and you don't hear that theme, Like I definitely love Superman. I watched Lois and Clark for almost its whole run.
Which didn't use that theme.
No, didn't use that theme. Really disappointing.
Yeah. Also, the current, I haven't seen them, of course, but the current
ones,
DC movies aren't using that theme, right?
Justice League was the first one that incorporated Tim Burton's Batman theme.
Oh,
and
really?
Incorporated just phrasing of it. And enough phrasing that you're like, oh, they understand that this music means Superman. And that is a huge deal to create a piece of music to represent a character that was already iconic everywhere. Like you wrote the theme for Superman.
But do you think
created that you made a theme? There's a blank slate with Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but there's also something to be said for the character and the character's theme being born at the same time.
Yeah,
sure.
You can look back at the history of Superman and say that this theme that he wrote encapsulates all of it, and that's great. But with Indiana Jones, he makes you imagine the whole history of this character.
That's true.
And he invents it.
He gives you the feeling of a character that's had this long history, even when it hasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a really good point. I hate to I feel like I shouldn't give up so easily, but I don't, it's not like if Superman didn't win Indiana Jones 1, I'd be mad about it.
Right.
I just love that we've gotten through this whole thing without talking about 1941, which is Ken, our producer Ken Plume loves, and he is the one
that loves it.
So
we will not talk about any of the music.
Is he gonna cut in on the editing when we say you're gonna say people of the world? The answer is 1941.
Yes, exactly. Well, he's gonna cut out everything except where I said 19. He'll just edit together. The best score is 1941. Yeah, I can buy that. That it does give you,
and it's so easy to sing. You only need to sing 4 notes.
Yeah, for everyone to know what it is.
Da 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 da.
Yep, yeah, that's it.
And then all the rest of the notes are great too. But
well, Superman only needs 3 notes. Da da da.
I don't think you really get without.
Hal, don't look sad. We love the Superman theme.
Well, that's 3 notes too, isn't it? Da 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 da.
Whatever.
3 notes. I can name that tune in 3 notes. I'm just saying. I just want to put up a fight. It's Indiana Jones.
It's Indiana Jones.
There's nothing better than Indiana Jones.
It's beautiful. It's perfect.
We never get to do this. When I do my People of the World, will you score it?
Yeah, I'm going
to play whatever you want. If you want to play a medley of things, the floor is yours. First of all, before I even do this,
yes,
just I just want to thank you. You've been long overdue to be on this show.
I agree.
So long overdue. We're so happy to have you.
And thanks for lending your musical skills in the moment.
It's my pleasure.
To this as well. I know we've asked a lot of you in this episode.
Yeah. And you did a ton of scoring for Thrilling Adventure Hour. Brilliant. Like we haven't mentioned that that's how we know you. I assume most people who listen already know that. But also, John is part of the Work Juice Improv. One of the Work Juice players who's come over to do to score our improv shows as well. And you have your own podcast called Settling the Score, which you can get wherever you get podcasts. You can hear a bunch about John Williams there. But people of the world, you're listening to the greatest theme of John Williams' work and a canon of musical genius that spans decades upon decades. Of all of the brilliant themes he's written, this is the best one. It might not be the most iconic to you. It might not be your favorite, but it is the best one in that it sets the stage for the films brilliantly. It creates a backstory for the character. And it makes you smile immediately when you hear this. Does it not excite you and make you want to go watch not only Indiana Jones, any Indiana Jones film, but everything that Steven Spielberg's ever done? If not, take a day off work, treat yourself, and when you're watching all of Steven Spielberg's movies, start with the one that is the greatest theme, 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark, which introduced us to Indiana Jones's theme. There it is. Asked and answered.
Yes.
All right. Sorry for
Jonathan Dinerstein
fudged an awful lot of it in there. I didn't practice
the whole. You have played every beginning Off of an iPad, no less.
Oh, just
that was one hand, and he was giving me the finger the whole time.
Yeah. See, that's the finger song. You are a genius.
No,
you are a Jeopardy champion.
I can't deny it.
But more
we didn't tell any Jeopardy stories. You said you were going to ask me questions.
Let's get into that for a second. I do have a question.
Sure.
But first question is, where can people find you online? Where do you want them to go? What website? What Twitter handle?
Thanks a lot. It has been my absolute pleasure being on the show with you guys. I have been early adopter. I was an early adopter. I jumped at the chance to write some music for you.
Yes.
Let me also take the chance to return the compliment to Mike Furman, because I remember that he has something nice to say about the score when he was on to talk about theme songs. And I want to say how much I love his song.
His theme song.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic. You guys played it for me before I wrote the score for you that I wrote.
Yeah.
And I tried to take careful note of what key it was in so that I ended my score on a big dominant note to lead into Mike's song.
God,
so that it
so
fits
bad.
together.
What you guys think about?
Yeah, it is. But it's long been my honor to open for his song. Anyway, it's a real thrill to be on the show. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. It would not be the show without your score at the top.
Oh, sure it would, but
not as good. Wouldn't be as good.
Thank you. I can be found. What did you ask me?
Where can we find online? Twitter handle, website. Yeah. I mean, we have the podcast Settling the Score.
Great. Settling the Score. We're on Twitter at Score Settlers. You can also go to the podcast website, settlingthescorepodcast.com. I personally am at John Dinerstein. You can check out music that I've written at johndinerstein.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now my Jeopardy question.
Okay.
The last, your final episode, the episode that you did not win.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
First of all, I love watching you go on a dominant run.
I mean, yeah.
And I was the true Philadelphia fan that I am. I was openly cursing anybody who got close to you in money amount.
Which they rarely did.
F this butthole. Shut up, dummy.
That's not how Philadelphians talk.
Once you got into a rhythm with the buzzer, because I know it's buzzer timing.
It really is.
So I have two questions about that. One, did you get any coaching from Brad Rutter?
I got plenty of coaching from Brad Rutter, which is incredible to me. Brad Rutter, the all-time most money-winning Jeopardy champion, happens to be a friend of ours.
Yes.
And when I was going on the show, I took him out to lunch and picked his brain, everything he could think of. He came over here and helped me train for buzzer timing, and I felt like I had gotten asked to play in somebody's intramural hockey game and just casually got to train with Gretzky. That's how it felt to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That final episode, the final Jeopardy, they reveal that the first two people, they do not get it right. And you correctly bid enough that had you gotten it right, you would have been out of reach of
bet correctly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You had a smile on your face. Did you think you had the right answer?
No.
You didn't know? Okay.
I didn't know. Look, that was really hard.
It was very hard.
Yeah.
What was the final
Incredibly
question?
hard.
Something about
Robert Louis Stevenson is the answer. It was I'd rather be I love
something.
This place.
Did you know that Robert Louis Stevenson went to Samoa?
Yeah. Did you know that?
Nobody knows that.
Nobody knew. Not even he knew.
Not even the Samoans knew.
He just woke up and he's like, "Is that The Rock? What am I doing here?"
And The Rock went, "You're welcome."
Exactly. That was how he figured it out.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, do you have any Jeopardy questions? I mean, there's so many, but I...
Yeah, but we're done with the episode.
Wait.
Go bug him on his Twitter page.
Be on my Twitter.
One more question. And then we'll wrap up.
No, you have one more answer. He's got to give you the
question. My favorite part of the show in general is when Alex Trebek...
If you want to manufacture a question, you can just say whatever it is that you have to say and then add,
you'll make...
in this capital of Delaware.
Oh, that's right.
That's what always blows me away on there. Yeah.
When Alex Trebek goes through the personal, because you load them up with personal facts, so they have something to ask about after the first commercial break, and whatever they it could be I just survived a bear attack and I'm still on life support here at the podium. Excellent, and then he moves on to the next. He's not listening to you, right?
It varies.
In this television show.
It varies. Sometimes he'll come back and have a lot of things to say. And then, there's clearly some where he's like, I don't want to even make it look like I'm paying attention to this.
I'm getting paid no matter what you say. All right, moving on. All right, those are my questions.
All right.
No other questions. If you have questions for John, find him on Twitter.
I'm going to ask him offline.
At John Dinerstein.
You've been very, very kind and indulgent to talk about it.
You have been very kind and indulgent in this whole experience. So this topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit or
email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or go to our Facebook group. Share your favorite John Williams scores, GIFs from those films. Talk about what your favorite theme is. Let's talk about music together and celebrate the genius of John Dinerstein. Do that at facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, QA engineer Jen Alba, and graphic designer Uri Kelman.
And thanks as always to our musicians.
Hey, you're welcome.
I'm looking him in the eyes to say this. Thank you. Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners. Thank you. We had such a blast sitting here.
Thanks, guys.
With John, and it's all because you listened to the show, and I hope you had a good time too. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody.
We got
It's 1941, guys. 1941, the march from night. It's one of the most incredible, wonderful marches from a film. I'm not gonna defend the film, but I will defend the march. Hi, everyone. Ken Plume here. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Okay. Indiana Jones is okay too. Bye.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.